morning. This is something that I've just got to get off my chest, have a little bit of a rant about, because if you work on a helpline like me, and actually care about people like me, every now and then you encounter people in a difficult situation and it just gets to you. And I've mentioned in some of my other videos about my experiences working on this helpline, the frustration which I have when I encounter a foreigner who barely speaks the language, or just in some cases doesn't speak the language. And in those videos I mentioned, that the frustration there was just because it takes a long time, because you've got to get a translator, or you've got to repeat yourself endlessly, or you've got just, but basically it just makes everything so much more difficult for me and them, because they chose to live in a country called England without speaking the language called English. Why? But anyway, this is a different sort of frustration, because I had a call from a child, a young girl, as it happens, um, because, well, it was about her mum's account, and because they were having a problem with their energy, and her mum could not understand a word of English at all, and they didn't have enough time to wait while I get a translator so that I can actually have a three-way conversation between the actual account holder, the foreign language translator, and me. So I had to have this conversation with a small girl. And I mean, I I don't mind. I mean, I'm able to keep my language simple enough to be understood by a child. Um, but the fact is that this child, because of her mother, has been placed in a situation where she needs to run the household. She needs to run the utilities, because her mother chose to move to a country called England without speaking English. Now, this small child is clearly born here. I mean, she was speaking perfect English without even so much as an accent. So at some point, I'll put it this way: within the last, like, say, 9 years, a woman chose to move to this country and then spent that 9 years not learning a word of English. And as a result, her child, who was, clearly born and raised in this country to the point to being, audibly indistinguishable from any other Englishman or Englishwoman, is left in a position where every time she needs to deal with, I don't know, any sort of adult responsibility, her daughter needs to do it. She's a child. She shouldn't have to worry about that. I mean, at that age, you should be worried about what, Pokemon or My Little Pony or whatever. Not trying to get the energy to work because you've encountered a problem and you need to phone a helpline. I mean, credit to this girl. She was, I mean, you could tell she was, like, young. I mean, I asked her how old she was. I'm not going to disclose that. And she handled the call well. She handled herself with, more courtesy and manners and just general good nature than about 50% of the adult callers I have. But the point is, he shouldn't have to be there. That's the one thing that annoys me. It gets to me. When you actually care about people when you work on a helpline. It's like, okay, it's one thing when you get a caller who has made life difficult for themselves, like some idiot who wanted to break into his own meter because he was just getting annoyed with the prices. So he told me on the phone, yeah, I'm breaking into my meter to lower the prices because you're not doing it. Don't do that. You're going to electrocute yourself. And then, of course, later on when he's under investigation for breaking into his meter, I'm like, well, that's your own fault. You're now in a bad situation because of an action which you took. I'm completely fine with that. That's just the natural order. That's karma. Disclosure, I don't believe in karma. I think it's a nice idea, though. But when people are put in a bad situation because of other people, that really gets to me. Yeah, I've not got an ending plan for this video. I just needed to vent, shout something into the abyss. I do actually feel a bit better now. Still annoyed at this bloody woman for spending 9 years in the country and not learning English. Oh well. I've done everything I can. I always do. Yeah. It sucks to care sometimes.